Who was here yesterday? There's so much happening in the world right now. We need so much sanity. We need so much help from the Torah Kedosha. Right, Yigal? We need so much help. So good thing we have the Baal HaTanya to help us. And we're in the 20th chapter of the Tanya, we're speaking about God's unity. This is from the mitzvah of Shema Yisrael Hashem Aleichem Hashem Echad. And specifically, we're speaking about the unity of God from the perspective that God is infinite, but it seems as if the world has an independent existence. But when we look at the world through the prism of how God creates the world, which we said is through speech, God is speaking the world into existence. And we do the same thing. By us speaking, we create universes. That's the power of speech. So anybody who ever said, sticks and stones could break my bones, but words can never hurt me, they lied. That's a lie. Words hurt. Words build and words destroy. Yes, Josh?
I thought about that before. So why don't we just speak about Mashiach all day?
What do you think we're doing? Chabad was like mega Mashiach. All the Chassidim are always speaking of Mashiach. The whole Torah is Mashiach. The Ramban explains that the entire Torah is God's name. The Chumash is one long name of God. You know that name? It's a good name to know. So we're talking about the more you learn Torah, and specifically to enunciate the Torah, not just to keep the Torah in the lavush of machshava, not to only keep the Torah in your brain, but to bring it from the brain into the faculty of speech and then to enunciate it. It's very, very powerful. You're bringing God consciousness into the world the more you learn Torah. The more you speak out Torah.
It's especially the basics of learning Torah is the Shnei Mikra, right?
Yeah.
You enunciate it twice.
That's right. To say as much Torah as possible, and those that understand the secrets of this speak about Mashiach all day long. Mamish. It's all about Mashiach. And as we get towards the end, this is the end of the story, this is Mamish, the final days, we're going to see more revelation. More craziness. The world has gotten crazy, and more revelation of God at the same time. Because people are going to get squeezed into, like Eliyahu Novi said, that Ad Mosai, Atem Yoshmas Shtei Seifim. How long will you sit on two fences, straddled between two sides? Elijah was saying, are you for God or are you for the Baal? Are you for God or are you for idol worship? How long are we going to be teetering? So things like this, like what's happening in the world, push us, they squeeze us to make a move, make a choice. And we can't fall asleep. That's one thing, you can't fall asleep. When things get a bit intense, you can't fall asleep. Because falling asleep is the opposite of what we want to do. We want to wake up. We want to wake up. And we say in Shir Amalis, right? Shir Amalis b'shuv Hashem, Mazel Tov, Shir Amalis, and then we say Hayinu Kacholmin, that we were all like dreamers. This month is the month of dreams. We were all like dreamers. What does that mean? That when Mashiach comes, we're all going to wake up like we were all dreaming. It was all the dream.
The dreams are not reality.
It's not real. In dreams, you feel like it's real when you're in the dream.
That's mamash it. You hear what Josh is saying? Is that the dream is something that when you're in it. I was speaking to somebody today who's been having reoccurring dreams. By the way, I'm not, we're not a prophet, but we're sons of prophets. Every single year when the month of Kislev begins, I just wait for it. People come and they start saying, I had the craziest dreams. Rabbi, tell me what they're all about.
Wait, this is actually what? I had the craziest dream.
Oh, because this is the month of dreams. Didn't you notice every one of the parashas about dreams?
That's crazy. Claus and I this morning were talking about both of our crazy dreams this morning.
This is it. This is the month of dreams. This is the month that every single parasha, this is the reality that it's all about dreams. So I just wait for it. And then, sure enough, dreams. That everyone's talking about dreams. Because the energy of this month is the month of dreams. Kislev. So What does it mean that we're going to wake up from a dream? It means, when you're in the dream, it feels so real. You ever been in the dream, you're like, oh my goodness, like, I guess this is my new life. Like, I guess I have to accept my destiny. Like, this is life now. You're in that, and all of a sudden you wake up. Oh my goodness, Modeani. Oh, it's just a dream. Oh my goodness, it felt so real. But it was just a dream. But it felt so real. What are we doing right now? Are we dreaming? No, it feels so real, right? Hey, you guys, yeah. You dreaming? No, this is reality. I don't know what, this is it. This is reality.
It's a matrix.
It's a matrix, mamish. Mashiach's going to come, and everyone's going to, oh my goodness. I thought it was so real. I put so much investment into nothingness. I thought it was so real. I thought the boogeyman was so real. I thought it was all so real. I thought these powers, these forces were so real that I could never overcome. I thought my challenges were so unsurmountable. You know what it says that Mashiach comes? You said we have to just speak of Mashiach, so we're speaking of Mashiach. The Mashiach.
Oh, I think we should every second.
So we are. So it says when Mashiach comes that Mashiach is going to shecht. There's going to be a shechting of Mashiach. There's going to be a slaughtering of the Yetzer Hara. What did I say? Mashiach, I'm sorry. Well, there is of Mashiach ben Yosef.
Oh, yeah.
We hope that he doesn't.
Well, if we do good, then he doesn't. But if we do not so good, then
yeah. There's going to be a slaughtering of the Yetzer Hara. And everyone's going to be crying. Now, why is everybody going to be crying?
Tears of joy.
because they'll realize that only through the challenges brought about by the Yetzer Hara were they able to grow to their current level.
So it says that tzaddikim are going to see the Yetzer Hara, and they're going to see that it looked like this massive, like huge mountain, the Matterhorn, or whatever, some like unsurmountable. And they're going to be crying because they're going to say, I can't believe that I was able to overcome this. Wow. And it was so mega, and still though God gave me the energy to overcome it. Because I wasn't fooled by the dream. I wasn't fooled by this world. And I worked hard. And they're going to see, wow, the Yetzer Hara, it looked so big, and thank God I had the power to overcome it. And then the wicked ones are going to also see the Yetzer Hara. But according to the Rishonim, the Yetzer Hara is going to look like a tiny string on the floor. Like a tiny thread comes out of your coat. And they're going to be so ashamed that they couldn't just step over this tiny little thread, because everything seemed so overwhelming to them. They were fooled. So the tzaddik, in this world, he's like, the Yetzer Hara, Hashem can help me with anything. And then when he wakes up, he's, so to speak, he's not fooled by the dream. He's going to see that, wow, really? The Yetzer Hara was like, I really worked much harder, but I was living in the real world, so Hashem was helping me. But the Rasha, who's always fast asleep, for him it looked like I could never overcome. I could never stop being an impatient person. I could never stop being an angry person. I could never. And then he will wake up from the dream when Mashiach comes, and he'll see you couldn't even walk over a tiny thread. You had all the support. Yes, a conspiracy theory to help you be the best person possible. Hashem was conspiring to help you to be great. But the Rasha who turned away from God his whole life and kept pressing the snooze button. Sound familiar? Snooze. I think Rabbi Dovber said the snooze button is the Yetzer Hara. He has strong lines like that.
Yeah, he said that unless you set yourself a time where you have to get up at this point and you will get up even though you said you want 10 minutes earlier. So that if you need it, you have the 10 minutes, so like you set the battlefield.
Yeah, but meaning if you snooze beyond your time?
Yeah, then this.
Yeah, he's got strong language for the snooze. Don't mess with this. Because why are you doing it? Is there a purpose? In the true world, Rabbi Dov Ber lives in the true world of reality. In the true world of reality, you don't need to sleep. You're just giving into taivas. You're just giving into the dream-like, sleepy state of this world. So for the warrior, poet, prince, king, who we call King David, our leader, King David is our fearless leader. He's our whole hope. That's why he's the final Messiah, is King David. Is, I can do anything. I need tefillah. I am davening. I can only do it though with you, Hashem. King David says, I'm nothing, but with you I can do anything. So there's nothing I can't do. My own limitations, it doesn't exist. It's only you, Hashem.
Yeah, they say like if you recognize the unity of Hashem, like nothing else will have power over you.
That's right.
If you give it power, then you're like, okay, you want to do this? Let's
Very nicely said. Very nicely said. That's why we talk about this when it comes to idol worship. We just had this in Daf Yomi, in the Gemara in the Dharm. To the degree that a person invests in believing the powers of witchcraft and sorcery, they'll have like a hold on him. Lo aleinu. Or like the evil eye, things like that. So a person's like really, or he realizes, Ein oid milvadai. There's nothing but you, God. There's nothing but you. Hashem, it's only you. Therefore, nothing can have power. And this is part of the mitzvah Shema Yisrael. It's when a Yid says Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. By saying Echad, he says, Hashem, you're the only destination. There's nothing but you, like we were talking about. There's only you. There's no other place that I'm going to seek my help. Ma'ayin yavo ezri, ezri me'im Hashem. My help will only come from you, Hashem. Will only come from, there's only one destination, there's only one address for our needs. Even though the dream or the sleep-like state of this world that we think is so real. No, what do you mean? There's a lot of other destinations to get your stuff from. And then a person will wake up and Mashiach comes and we wake up, Hayinu kecholmim. We finally wake up from the dream and we realize there was only one place ever that we would get what we needed. It's only you, Hashem. And this is called emunah, going from emunah, which is called emunah in your mind, that you know that truth. Then there comes emunah belev, that you feel that truth. And then it comes emunah be'atzmius, where all of your bones and all your body runs to that truth. That's also known as bitachon, that you're living with that truth. And when a thing happens to a person, like he doesn't get a job, or he does, or something with the boss, or something with the flights, something, he just runs. He says, Hashem, it's not them, it's not her, it's not this. It's only you, Hashem. It's mamish, only you. That's all the unity that we're going to be moving towards as Mashiach comes. And he shows us what the world's really, the fabric of the world. So the Baal HaTanya has been guiding us, that God is creating the world through every moment, through words. And we brought the analogy yesterday that we'll say very quickly, that what's the significance of one word compared to the faculty of speech inside of me? The faculty of speech inside of me can say endless amounts of words. Right? So what's one actual word? Pick a word, any word. Pumpkin. Thank you for that. Made a whole number of us smile. Thank you. And there's no reference to Halloween, obviously, because that's mega paganist.
I just like pumpkins.
They do taste yummy.
Pumpkin spice lattes, that's what he was thinking of.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, pumpkin spice lattes.
A pumpkin spiced latte? That's a thing?
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know how they
I guess you learn something new every day.
I don't know how they get pumpkins to a spice, man.
So, pumpkin. The word pumpkin, what significance does the word pumpkin have compared to the ability inside of you called the faculty of speech, that can say endless amounts of words through your entire life? Does it have any definition or any strength or any self-identity, let's call it, when you return that word to where it came from, which is the ability to say endless words? Oh, so then where does the faculty of speech come from? The faculty of thought, which is the precursor of speech. So when I return that word, pumpkin, into the faculty of speech, which can say endless words, and then I take the way that pumpkin looks wherever it is in the faculty of speech, then I return pumpkin into the mind where all speech originates from. Does pumpkin have any independent identity?
No.
It's lost, it dissolves. And then I take where all of thought comes from, which is the pre-psychic, pre-thought, which is your soul, which is the 10 powers of your soul. So when I return the word to its origins, to the soul, to me, the word itself doesn't have any independence. It's all one within me. I'm just able to enunciate, to illustrate it. But when it comes to God, we say that God is creating the world through speech. But if we take that word and we return it, so to speak, to God's ability to speak, does that word have any significance in God's ability of speech? And then if we return that to God's ability of thought, to conceptualize, does it have any relevance there? And then we take God's conceptual thought to, so to speak, the spheres, which is just elokus. And then we take it to Hashem himself, which is...
It's just a part of the infinite, effectively.
And we also know that the word never left God, because Einam Mavadai.
It's all...
Remember we talked about that the ray of the sun, like we're like the ray as it leaves the sun, but in the truth is we're the ray of the sun as it exists on the surface of the sun. So that word never left God. So all this is made up of words, including you and I. But we never left God. So really, do we have any independence?
Well, can I ask then, what's the word for us?
What do you mean?
As people, with a neshama inside of it, what's the word that Hashem is...
So the one thing that's interesting, we'll have to see this also, the neshama comes from a different place.
We're different than this table. Like,
Well, who's we? Who's you? Who are you? Your kippah, your biceps,
I
your
perceive myself
teeth.
through my ego, but I don't know what I am or who I am.
Good thing you came to yeshiva to find out. We're going to learn that the soul, the neshama, which is the real you, the godly soul, comes into the world not through speech. Comes into the world in a totally different way. Every single other part of existence comes into the world through speech, including the most exalted angels.
Angels are also
Creations.
manifested through speech.
Yeah,
Like in the same continual way that this table.
Yes, correct.
Is it like the way that
Yeah.
Even though
We just think like this is all there is, a physical coarse world. Get ready, boys. There's going to be a journey ahead where you go through the spiritual worlds and you see was tutzach up there. Like what's really going on?
Is it gonna have like Raphael, like it's refuah with kale, so it's like
Yeah, it's a messenger of God for sure.
So he's the shliach of healing of God.
That's right. Get ready. There's a lot of malach. There's a lot of stuff going on up there. You could do it even now that tzaddikim are doing when they're davening Shemon Esrei. They're going all the way up. They're exploring crazy universes. It's called Aliyas Neshama. It's called Yichudim. There's crazy stuff. Don't worry. 2-year program. We'll get involved. And for the Aish guys, 4-year program. But let's go. The Torah is so deep. It's so, forget about, once you get into Kabbalah, it's endless. It's endless. And you're going to inherit these universes that you're going to explore. Hashem is Ein Sof. There's no end. We make Hashem small into like Hallmark cards. Hashem is so massive. If whatever the physical world is, and you think the physical world is big,
It's pretty big.
it's pretty big. I always want to play it, but this is something that I think is inspiring for a person, is to watch the NASA Hubble telescope picture of the world. Where they do a video where they sort of zoom in and out. You saw that?
Yeah. The perspective shift as you zoom out, right? You look at our solar system, you look at our
Pretty
galaxy, and then you look
unbelievable.
and then you zoom out to all the galaxies.
Okay, and let's take on that it's all real, it's not fake news, and like that's literally, an accurate physical picture of at least only part. That's only what they've seen.
Only part, yeah.
And you look, you're like,
So tiny.
And then you factor in the fact that it's constantly expanding at an ever increasing exponential rate, and you're just like, And this isn't even infinity yet. Like,
You haven't touched infinity.
We haven't even touched infinity.
And you know how you get to infinity? Torah and mitzvahs.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a paradox. So like you see that perspective, you think you're sort of small, but then you have to realize that like no matter how small you are, not taking even Hashem to account, like your neshama by itself is larger than that.
Huge. The neshama, yeah, that's for sure. Bigger than the whole universe. Get ready, my friends, for tremendous adventures. Whatever Elon thinks will take you into SpaceX, however impressive you think that is, it's nothing. It's nothing compared to tefillin. We should be Zoich HaMamish, the Mashiach Tzidkin, and here in a minute. Amen. Kol Tov. Shabbos. Shkaya.